everybody, this is Sana and today I'm going to show you guys how to make homemade chicken nuggets. This is an easy recipe. It is delicious. It is well seasoned and you can make it in advance. You can bake it, you can fry it, you can air fry it, you can do whatever you want with it. It's a very versatile recipe and this recipe is my kids' favorite. I make this I think around like once or twice a week. Literally, this is how much. My kids love it. My husband loves it. We've made it in sandwiches. We eat it just with some fries and coleslaw. I mean, you can do so many things with this thing. All right, so first of all, I'm gonna show you guys all the ingredients that I have. I have around 2 pounds of chicken breast that I've cut into around 1-inch cubes. You can make this a little bigger. I've sometimes even use the same recipe to make chicken tenders, so full-on pieces. You can do that if you want to, if you're using it in a sandwich. I'm making nuggets this time, so I cut them a little smaller. This will also mean they'll cook faster, they'll stay crispy. I have some ingredients for my dry mix, because this recipe asks for a dry mix and a wet mix. For the dry mix, I have just all-purpose flour. I've got some cornstarch and a little tiny bit of baking powder. As for my wet mix, I have eggs and all the spices. For eggs, I'm gonna use 6 eggs here. I have used less before and you can probably get away with using just 4, but I don't want to reach like halfway through making these and then I run out of eggs. So I usually just like to make a little bit extra. And you know, if a little bit stays, you can just throw it out. To the eggs and to the flour mix, I'm gonna add some seasoning, and that includes my trusty black pepper, some salt, paprika, garlic powder, onion powder, and chili powder. If you have some really favorite seasonings or spices, you can definitely add those. If you really like your nuggets or your chicken strips really spicy, you can definitely add some hot sauce to your egg mix. Again, this is, you know, you can make it your own. So add the spices that you like. I just like, these are my favorite spices and I like my chicken nuggets very well seasoned. I want the nugget to have a lot of flavor and not just get the flavor from like dipping sauces. So first things first, I'm going to grab a big bowl here and I'm gonna add, I think what is equivalent to 4 cups of flour, maybe even more. Again, I'm using the dry mix twice and the egg mix once. So you definitely want a good amount of flour. And again, you do not want to run out of the flour mix in the middle if you're cooking. Your hands are gonna be super dirty with all that chicken stuff, and you definitely don't want to have to wash your hands, go back, do this all over again, add your flour and all the seasonings. So here's all my flour. I would say I could use a little bit more. I'm gonna put 1 more spoon in here. To this, I'm gonna add the cornstarch. The cornstarch is going to, you know, add a little bit of crispiness to the chicken. So that's why I'm adding it here. And I would do probably a 4-to-1 ratio. So 4 of the all-purpose flour to 1 cornstarch, and that would be plenty. To this, I'm adding a very little bit of baking powder. I don't know why I add this, I just do. This is how I, you know, learned it from my mom. So I don't know what the chemistry is here, but it is what it is. So I'm doing maybe like half a tablespoon for this entire mix. Alrighty, so I'm gonna mix this all up. To this, I'm gonna add seasoning. And the thing is, I'm gonna add seasoning to both my mixes, to my dry mix and my wet mix. And this will ensure that my nuggets are really infused with all that flavor. So I'm gonna add my black pepper. And this, I think, looks like 2 tablespoons. And if you want really specific ingredients or measurements of the ingredients, I write all this down in my blog, so you can go there and check it out. For here, I'm just trying to show you guys how I eyeball it, and hopefully you'll get the gist of what I'm doing. I love garlic powder, so I'm gonna add a good, maybe tablespoon. Once you've been cooking for as long as I have, and you cook as much as I do, you can eyeball your measurements. You don't really need to bring out the measuring spoons anymore. This is the chili powder. I'm gonna do also around a tablespoon, probably a little bit less, just because I don't want it too spicy. This is my absolute favorite seasoning of all time, onion powder. I will add it anywhere. Even if the recipe has onions, I'll still add onion powder. Just something about it, it's so yummy. So I'm doing over a tablespoon. Oops, let's put that back there. And finally, for some delicious color and flavor, I'm doing also maybe a tablespoon and a half or 2 tablespoons of paprika. And now I'm gonna bring my whisk and whisk all of this together to ensure that everything's incorporated really well, that this flour mix is really well seasoned all over. This is already smelling good. This is literally already smelling yummy. Okay, this is well mixed. I'm gonna put this on the side for now and make these things disappear to give me some more space. I brought this out, but I don't think I can mix the eggs in here. I need something more circular, so. Alrighty, another bowl. In this bowl, I'm going to crack my eggs, and I'll just prepare something to put my eggshells in. So like I said, I'm adding 6 medium-sized eggs. You could probably do 5 extra large eggs. This is what I had in my fridge, so this is what I'm using. I think this will be enough, hopefully. I almost always run out of either the wet or the dry ingredients as I'm making this. And it's usually last minute because the kids are standing next to me like screaming, when are the nuggets ready? When are the nuggets ready? So I'm like, oh my God. So I'm going to mix the exact same mixture of seasonings into my eggs. Same exact thing. I might not do as much as I did in the flour because I do have less eggs. Again, I'm gonna use the flour twice as much as I'm gonna use the eggs. So you definitely don't wanna overdo it with the eggs. Putting some black pepper in there, some salt, some paprika. Many recipes that I've seen for fried chicken or chicken nuggets online, I'll see they'll only put seasoning or sauces or things like that into one of these, but they don't do both. I've realized that it's just so much better. It doubles the flavor profile when you add your seasoning to both. All right, here's my onion powder, my garlic, and finally my chili. I'm gonna get my whisk again. Now I'm gonna go ahead and whisk all these eggs. And I'll give you one little tip about the egg mix. Once you're done whisking and making sure the seasoning and the spices are all very well mixed in there, you can add a little bit of water just to make it a little bit more runny, because we are using this to bond the flour mix onto the chicken. So that's the purpose of the egg mix. It adds flavor and it's also there to bond. So I'm gonna go ahead and add just maybe like a tablespoon or 2 of water and continue mixing. Alrighty. As you can see, the egg mix is beautifully colored. It's already so dark just because of all the seasoning that we put in there. Now comes the dirty part. This is where you have to get your hands dirty. I'm gonna put some gloves on because I am gonna be dealing with chicken and I just don't want to get chicken everywhere. So I have this dish ready for the chicken that's done incorporating into all the mixes. And what I do is I like to use this like wire mesh thing. I don't know what to call it, but anyway, I'm sure most of you guys have it. If you don't, you can just use your hands, whatever, but warning, your hands are gonna get like really mushy and dirty. So I'll put the chicken in here, dump them into the flour mixture, give it a really good mix around. You want the flour to fully coat all the chicken, and then pick it up and shake it. And when you're shaking it, you get rid of all the excess flour. And now you can dump those little chicken bits into the egg mixture. I continue doing this to make sure I have all of my little baby chickens. Ooh, missed one. So here's our chicken. It's been very well coated in the egg mix. I'm doing the same thing and using the same spoon, getting rid of any excess egg mix, and I'm putting it back into our flour for the second time. And this is gonna be the last time that it goes into the flour. Do the same thing, mix it around very well, make sure that the flour is coating every single piece of chicken. And I can smell those spices, it just smells so good. And then pick up all those pieces of chicken and just do the shake again, get rid of any excess flour. And now that your chicken pieces are well coated, you can just put them aside into this extra dish you have. Now I'm gonna continue doing this for the rest of my chicken. I have around 2 pounds of this, so this is gonna take a while. And I'll see you guys on the other side. Hey guys, we're back and I have all of my chicken nuggets fully coated and ready to be fried. Today I'm gonna deep fry them. That's the way my kids like it best. And unless I felt like we've had a very unhealthy week, then I would just air fry it or bake it even. I'm using a deep and very large pan because I have a lot of chicken nuggets and I want to give them enough space in the pan to cook through. I don't want them overcrowded. I added around, I would say, 1.5 inches of cooking oil, just regular vegetable cooking oil. Once this is hot, I can add my chicken nuggets to it, and I will probably do this in 3 batches. Like I said, I don't want to overcrowd the pan and I don't want them to end up mushy. I want them really crunchy and delicious. So I'm gonna check and see if this oil is hot enough, and what I do is just grab a little bit of the flour mixture and I dump it in. If it doesn't start bubbling and crackling, then the oil is not ready. This oil is not ready yet, but on the side, as you can see, I have another pot ready with a lot of oil, probably more oil, that I'm gonna use to make some French fries because my kids love chicken nuggets with homemade French fries. I've got my fries right here. I just used some russet potatoes, as you can see. I washed them, I peeled the skin, and I chopped them into like thin and long pieces. I had them soaking for around an hour because it just tastes better when your French fries have been soaking. If you want really crispy fries, and I can do a different video about this, you want to double fry your fries. I'm not doing that today just because I don't have time and I'm taking my kids to the park after this. So I'm just going to do one single fry. They're not going to be as crispy as they can be, but they're still going to be super yummy. Okay, so my oil is finally ready and I'm about to add the chicken nuggets into it. Come with me. Look at that bubble. You can add more than one at a time and then just poke them around in the pan to split them apart. This is not going to take too long to cook because my pieces are smaller. I would say probably around 5 minutes, but you have to keep your eye on it. This is not something that you can leave and go do something else. You have to be around here because they are going to cook and brown pretty quickly. You don't want them burning. You will taste the burn. And I think I have enough chicken to probably do 4 batches, not just 3. So that's pretty awesome. I do have one tip for very busy moms who might think that this is way too much work to do for some nuggets when you can easily get some, you know, frozen ones or order from out. These are 100% much better tasting than anything you can get from out. So I would say make a big batch, make like 3 or 4 pounds of this, and then freeze it before cooking. Don't fry it, don't do anything to it. Just make the mix, make the chickens just the way I did it here, and at this point put it on a very flat like sheet or like sheet pan, and on parchment paper, put it in the freezer for, I would say, half an hour. Once it's a little harder and it's a little bit frozen, you can put it in some big Ziploc bags and then freeze them. Make sure you write your date. I would say easily this would be okay in the freezer for a couple of months. Definitely write the date because you never know. And that way, anytime you want to make these, you can just take them straight out of the freezer, bake it, or fry it. You don't have to thaw it even. You can just fry it right then. Now I'm gonna shake my chicken around. You can see it's starting to form this really delicious skin. Ooh, and the smell. You can smell all the delicious seasoning and spices. That garlic, that onion, that paprika, it's just yummy. This is not like your average chicken nuggets from like a fast food place. This is really yummy. You can taste the homemade. Now in this pan, I think my other oil is ready, so I'm gonna hit up the French fries. Yep, that's ready. And the French fries usually take a little longer than the chicken. I think I would easily give them around 7 to 10 minutes to fry. And I'm gonna use the same technique. I'm not gonna overcrowd the pan. I'm gonna put just enough fries for one batch and leave the rest aside. If I need it, I'll use the rest. If what I already made is enough for my family, then I might just soak this again with water, put it in the fridge, and use it the next day. All right, it's been around 3 minutes that these chickens are frying up in here, and as you can see, they're getting a really nice, beautiful golden color. I think they're almost done, maybe another minute or two. I prepared a dish with some paper towels because when I put the nuggets in here, I want them to drain a little bit of that oil. I don't want them super oily. And I think we are ready for that step right now. So I'm gonna go ahead, take these nuggs out. I'll try to shake a bit of the oil while I'm doing this. All right, you guys, here we are. I'm done with the first batch. It looks delicious. It looks super crispy. You can see the skin on here is golden. It is reddish from all that paprika that we added, and it smells, oh my God, delicious. Some tips on how you can eat those. I would just do some coleslaw, some really, really yummy coleslaw on the side, and some French fries and ketchup. You can also make some little sandwiches with this. You can put it in a bun, again with coleslaw, with some, really thinly sliced onions and some spicy aioli. Woo, I'm getting hungry just thinking about all this stuff. This was such a joy to make, and I know my kids are gonna be running in here any second, ready to chow down on these nuggets. I have a lot left to fry, so I'm gonna go do that. Guys, take a look at these nuggets. Oh my God, look at the skin. That looks delicious. And I'm gonna show you just how crunchy and crispy they are. Oh my God. Okay, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys make this recipe and enjoy it with your family. If you do make this recipe, please tag me in it anywhere, Instagram, Facebook, on here. Just comment and send me a picture. I'm really, really excited to see your version of my chicken nuggets.